Hi, this is week 2. You've made it through week 1. This week, you will evaluate artistic quality and picture book quality. You're going to learn more about Children's Literature Awards, and you're going to discuss the Caldecott book in your literacy circle. So click on week 2 here so you have a better understanding of what work that needs to be done. You're viewing the video, which is the first activity this week. And after you're done viewing the video, then you can move on to the second activity, which is to write an objective. This is an instructional objective that we write to have a better understanding of what our expectations are for students to complete work. It's done in an ABCD format. If you had me for an instructor for history, culture, and society, then you know how to write an ABCD format that's observable and measurable. If you haven't had me, don't worry. There's a good explanation here. You can view the video in this week's lesson. You can also take a look at articles that are in the objective and lesson plans module. That's here, right here, and that my cursor is pointing to. You're going to select a picture book, and then you're going to think of an activity that you might use with the book and write an objective for that activity. So this is the video to watch. It gives a very simple and clear explanation of how to write an objective. This is my example for you. You do not need to use this example. This is mine. You're going to have another book most likely. I'm using the book called It's Okay to Be Different by Todd Parr. Here's the image of the book, which I want you to put on. And then the activity that I have aligned with the book will be for students to draw a picture of the way that they might be different from each other after reading the book. So in my objective, excuse me, after reading the book, It's Okay to Be Different, the student will be able to draw independently one way she, he, or they may be different from another student. That's my objective. Nothing else. One sentence, and I can identify the A, B, C, D format of the objective. Now, I am spelling that out for you here for your benefit. You do not need to do that for me. I can read your objective and then identify the parts. So A is the audience. In my objective here, the audience is the student will be able to draw. The student will be able to is really what my audience is, the student. B is the behavior. What are they going to do? They're going to draw. What's the condition? After reading the book, It's Okay to Be Different is the condition. It's what you give them so they're able to do what you've asked them to do. And the D is a degree. That is the mastery level. How do I want them? Sometimes it might be 80%. It may be that you are going to guide them, and that's going to be the degree. This time I want them to work independently. So if they can't do something independently, they haven't mastered this objective. And then I have to figure out what to do. In this case, it's not to a point where I have to measure. I just have to make sure that they can draw a picture of themselves, and that's what I want them to do, and hopefully they can do that. So D is independently. So if I go to this objective, if I look at this objective like I would be looking at yours, I'd be able to say, okay, what is the audience? The student will be able to. What is the behavior they're going to draw? Under what conditions? After reading the book, It's Okay to Be Different. I gave them that condition. I already read the book to them. And then what is the degree? How do I want them to master? I want them to work independently. If they can't do it independently, then they haven't mastered that objective. So you're going to write an objective for a book you selected. You can use the book that you have. You can pick any picture book. You can pick any book you want, but you're going to write an objective, and you're going to post that objective in this Dropbox. Then you're going to take a look at the evaluating the artistic quality of a picture book. So that's in chapter 3 of our textbook. I think they have identified Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the School Bus by Mo Willems, which is going to be the book the chapter is using to identify artistic quality. You're going to use the video of the book and the information from the chapter to complete the artistic quality of picture books worksheet attached to this item right here. You'll discuss the artistic quality of this book with your literacy circle. If you have time, you may not need to do that, but you do need to do that independently, and you need to post what you've done in the Dropbox for this week. So there is a spot on that worksheet to evaluate 2 other books, and you're welcome to do that. And if you do, I will give you credit for 1 more or all 3 that you do. It's up to you if you want some extra credit this week. The next activity is to research children's literature awards. So each year in January, awards are given in several categories for children's literature. You're going to use the information in Chapter 3 and on the internet. You're going to research 5 children's literature awards. You're going to select 2 books for each award. So you're going to select 5 children's literature awards. There are many, many awards you'll see. Pick 5. It can be the Caldecott Award. It can be it could be any of the literature awards that are listed there. Pick 5, and then you're going to identify 2 books, include an image of the book, and why did they receive that award. You don't have to select books from 2024, 25, 26. It can be for any previous years. You're going to post that information in the Dropbox below. Then you're going to take a look at evaluating quality picture books. So you're going to view the video right here, evaluating quality picture books. You're going to locate a picture book. It can be the one you used this week in your literacy circle. And you're going to identify the quality of the picture book by the criteria provided in our textbook and in this video. You can create a 1-page document with the following information to evaluate the picture book. You're going to include the image of a book or the video of the book. You might have that. You're going to state the title, the author, and the illustrator, and then you're all going to include criteria and whether the book does or does not meet the criteria to be considered a quality picture book. And you're going to post this document in this Dropbox for this week. Your literacy circle discussion will be your Caldecott book, and you should have already met once already, so you have an understanding of who will be the volunteer to be the leader to discuss the discussion, and then you're going to select a leader for next week if you haven't already, who comes prepared with questions to lead the discussion. After you are done with your literacy circle discussion, then you can post your blog from your reader's response blog, and you can use this link to post it, and you can do that after you're done discussing the book. Here are some reminders for this week. Your challenge banned book will be discussed next week in Literacy Circle. Your movie trailer QR code are due week 3. That's 2 things. It's a movie trailer that you've created, is one of the major assignments, and then you're going to create the QR code for that movie trailer, and you're going to add both of those, post both of those in the Dropbox. And it's right here, and you can click on that. And then you need to start thinking about planning your library field experience if you haven't already. And we can discuss that in when I meet with you to discuss your books each week in your literacy circle. That's it for this week. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Otherwise, I'll see you online.